Hello there, hello there, hello there, YouTubes. How the devil are we all? I am very well. Thank you for asking. And this is part 2 of Kissing and Shitting the Stars. Shitting misspelt, as usual, there, by Warcorpse. Well done. Yeah, for those who don't know, it's me reading through the works of Warcorpse 666 and ripping them to pieces because they are fucking dreadful. So without further ado, let's get on with part 2, shall we? Now, last time out, we are we sharing? I don't know if we're sharing it. There we go. Got to wait for the mental screen. Right. Yeah, last time out, we finished off with... Oh, don't be slow now, E-reader, you twat. Right, we finished off with Hulk Hogan. So this time out, we get to start off with Sean Hannity. Legendary shizzle. Right then. Sean Hannity. What can you say about this little weasel that hasn't been said before? Warcorpse, you do surprise me, I have to say. I mean, he is the stereotypical conservative Christian repressed dweeb. Good use of dweeb. I mean, I don't want to go after the man's family because they didn't do anything to me. Well, technically, Sean Hannity's never really done anything to you either, has he? But anyway, that's pernickety on my part, but whatever. I'll just say that I'd bet dollars to donuts. Now, that's a very A, American phrase, and B, American spelling of donuts. Come on, America, you're better than that. Actually, no, you're not. What am I talking about? Dollars to donuts. His wife has not gotten really laid since the last time she charged her battery-operated boyfriend. What? That's a... Well, I mean, Sean Hannity is many things, but I never thought of him as... Like, I mean, he's probably not the most adventurous sexually, but it's that... I don't know. That seems a bit odd. Anyway, every time I hear Sean Hannity's radio show, I constantly wait for the moment where his mum breaks into the studio and says, Shawnee, you forgot your lunch. Again, you're quoting... I mean, it's a mythical quote, of course, but you're supposed to be quoting a person there. So, quotation marks. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's really basic. Fucking hell. His television show isn't much better. It's the same drivel claptrap crap. Is this like performance poetry there? Drivel claptrap crap that most right-wing news pundits pour out. Sean just has a way of making all the more snot-nosed. I think making it all the more snot-nosed. And that is true, actually. Sean Hannity is a man... I think Charlie Brooker summed it up better. He looks like a child that's just learned to love the smell of its own farts. Absolutely correct. Like, this is what... I think it's supposed to be like, comma, this is what happened to Dennis the Menace. What? Happened to... What? What do you mean it's like what happened to Dennis the Menace? What does that mean? What are you referring to there? Unless that's an American thing I don't know about. Don't get me wrong, the left does the exact same thing, just from a different fucking viewpoint. Okay, I mean, I don't think that's true, actually. I think Sean Hannity is much worse than anyone on the left, but what, you know, from a... Also, just saying it's the exact same thing from a different viewpoint isn't like a defense. It doesn't make... Like, in that case, he wouldn't be any worse, whatever. Sean Hannity, there's just... Sean Hannity, comma, there's just something about him. Like, comma, he wants to believe what he says and maybe tries. This is so poorly constructed. Personally, comma, I think he knows he spews bullshit and is fully aware of his own hypocrisy. I mean, you cannot have that bad of a memory to remember that in 2004 you were going on about how Homeland Security was the greatest goddamn thing for the country. I mean, this is hackneyed writing of the worst kind. Americans need to give up their rights to privacy for the greater good. It's all to protect us against the terrorist bastards. Assuring your listeners the American government would never ever spy on innocent good Christian Americans. Then a couple of years later, comma, when Obama was in the White House, comma, you have a great change of heart. Suddenly, comma, the NSA is the most evil goddamn thing since Zombie Hitler. Zombie Hitler. Would he eat the brains of Jews? Or would he not eat the brains of Jews? I mean, that is the ultimate philosophical question with zombie Hitler. Would he eat the brains of Jews? Because, I mean, technically that would be killing the Jews, wouldn't it? But also, I don't get the impression that he'd like eating bits of Jew. That is the ultimate problem, isn't it, with zombie Hitler? Anyway, I mean, if you want help refreshing your memory, Sean, you can find the fucking clips of you saying that shit on YouTube, you dickhead. Of course, you also don't seem to remember when you and every other right-wing broadcaster denounced the Dixie Chicks as evil fucking bitches, and then when Ted Nugent went on his tirade about Hillary, everything was cool. Is it just me, or when you watch Sean Hannity on the news, do you think of like a kid that's just recording a newscast for his family on a webcam? The thing is, Warcorpse, you're writing this like you would speak it out loud, but it's to an extent, because of intonation and the stress you put on the sentence, it kind of makes sense. Like, you can understand what's being said. But when you write it down like that, that sentence was just fucking gibberish, basically. But it's really poor, man. Granted, a lot of the right wing and left wing not asses. Is that a common American thing? Not asses. On television, act like 10-year-old kids. And that's the end of the paragraph. So, I don't know why, but anyway. It wouldn't shock me if at some point during his day he sits down and sings, I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid jingle. Again, you've got to break that sentence up. I think if the title of the song is I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid, I mean, you've got fucking quotation marks around the R, so you've nailed the corporate branding use of quotation marks. Just do it, for actual quotations. That would be good. Yeah, then I would put that in italics to show that it's different, to show that that's supposed to be like a different thing from the rest of the sentence. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And of course, you put in when it should be and. But he continues. I don't know why, but he does. He still acts like a fucking rejected middle school aged nerd who never got to touch a tit his whole fucking life. To be fair, if you're in middle school and you've never touched a tit, that's not the end of the world, is it? I mean, that's pretty normal, I would suggest. Really, that's not. Yeah, like, you're going to touch tits later on, probably, assuming that's your sort of thing. Whatevs. To me, that's the way he writes his books, does his radio show, and is on television. And is how he's on television. Yeah, okay, whatever. When people disagree with him, are kicking his ass on intellectual points, and he's getting proven wrong. Oh, right, so that's a continuation. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's difficult to know with Warcorpse. It's like staccato writing. You never know when the next note's coming. He literally does the adult equivalent of covering his hands over his ears and goes la 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 la. Yeah, or unless he's just quoting Los Angeles several times there, because that's LA as well, isn't it? Again, I would, rather than just putting them in capitals, I would put that in either quotation marks or italics. Now, I'm not really a regular viewer of Hannity's program. Quality research here. So this doesn't really affect me a whole much. All that much. Okay. Sorry, I misread that. Apologies. I thought he was being silly, but that was my mistake. Entirely my fault. But I would just like to not have America the laughingstock of the world. Warcorpse, your fucking YouTube channel makes that impossible. Seriously, dude. I mean, you had to apologize to the state of Hawaii, you fucking mental. Anyway, you're a worldwide known face, Sean Hannity. Would you kindly fucking act like it? I'd like to say get some consistency with your arguments. again, I'd like to say quotation marks. I think here, get some consistency with your arguments, and then quotation marks. But that is far too. Again, that should be far too tall in order for anyone on either your side or Bill Maher's. But okay, so Bill Maher's the equivalent, is he? Bill Maher, the fucking comedian. Okay, he does a political talk show thing as well, but he's not actually like a journalist, is he? So that's not a fair comparison, you dickhead. So when people used to say that about Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, yes, he did political themed stuff, but he was a fucking comedian. Like, that's not the equivalent of right-wing journalists being shit, is it? Anyway, he then moves on. Oh, his next one, baby Prince George. What the fuck has the baby done? Like, I'm sure he's going to make some of the criticisms that I would make of the royal family or the royal institution in general. But why, in a thing where you're basically ripping on celebrities, why are you ripping on a baby? That seems entirely, frankly, childish and just shit. Anyway, right. Let's see what he has to say, though. Come on. Baby Prince George. I know at the moment you can't speak. Hell, comma. By the time this book is out for everyone to enjoy, you may or may not be able to say the words mummy and daddy. I know none of this is your fault, and it's just a simple fuck up of which woman crapped you out. Again, Warcorpse, we're going to have to sit down and have a biology discussion here. Because you're thinking about the wrong exit there. Do you see what I mean? That's the wrong... You know the milk lemonade round the corner fudge is made? We're going to have to take you through that a bit more precisely with some scientific terms and things. Anyway, that being said, I don't like you. Go away already. Oh, so it's not, none of it's your fault, but I don't like you. What has the fucking baby done? Literally, what could a baby possibly have done to offend you? Oh, fucking hell, you are... I mean, you are a dickhead, Warcorpse. Fucking hell. What will you do for the world? Maybe something. Probably nothing. What will you accomplish? Probably nothing. Will you be a genius, musical prodigy, great actor, or anything of note? It's possible, but probably not. You won't have to, though, comma, to be famous. You're a royal. No matter what, comma, you'll still have a whole nation of fucking kidney pie eating morons fawning over your every fucking step through life. Now, for a start, don't ever go to the kidney pie. Especially the steak and kidney pie is a staple of British life. There would be fucking famine without them. So there's no need for that. But yeah, I mean, I agree with the rest of it, because that is the people who fawn over the royals are fucking morons. I'm sorry, they just are. You will have acclaim, admirers, and adoration for simply being alive. Yep, I'm with you, Warcorpse, on that one. Just remember, George, comma, my country was founded on kicking your country's ass. Nah, I'm going to say that's a temporary thing. We're coming back for you. I'm just getting my red coat thoroughly laundered, pressed, ironed, and we'll be back soon enough. We've burnt the capital down once, don't make us do it again. However, comma, I really wish that we would just forget about baby George. He's a baby, comma, nothing more. He's a baby, comma, same as the hundreds of thousands of others that were born on the same fucking day. Yeah, I'm with you, Warcorpse. Absolutely, man. So, comma, unless baby George splits the atom before he's toilet trained, I don't give two fucking shits about baby Prince George. That's fair enough, but you say you don't give a shit, but you have written a chapter about him in a book. So I mean, I say written. I presume you just filled your arsehole with ink and shat it out onto the page. But whatever. Vanilla ice, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Right, vanilla ice. Please, vanilla ice or V-ice or whatever the fuck you're calling yourself now. Oh, that's harsh. It's time. That should be a comma on. Sorry, an apostrophe on the TS. It's time on your 15 minutes. That has long since passed, comma. Go the fuck away. Stop doing commercials. I would say comma rather than full stop or period there. Stop trying to keep yourself relevant. Just go, comma, just go away. You didn't have a great music career, comma, nor were you a talented rapper. I gotta say, I'm with you on this, Warcorpse. It's horrifically poorly written, but it's correct so far. All you are doing now is a sad display of a one-hit wonder, proving beyond whatever shadow of a doubt remained, comma, that you were never going to be anything more than just one hit in 1990. As annoying as it is to still see you, comma, vanilla, vanilla ice, I kind of enjoy it. I like it because you are finally acting like the joke I always knew you fucking were. A damning, scathing report there from Warcorpse. Tim Tebow, who is a fucking prick, who looks like he's actually going to be good at baseball, which is annoying. Anyway, Tim Tebow. Give it up, you fucking loser. you know it's going to be a good one when he starts off with that. You were never destined to be one of the great quarterbacks. That's true, but he did, to be fair to the lad, he did win a playoff game. I mean, he didn't win it, but his team won it, and he was playing quarterback, so he does have a name. I don't want to defend him because he's a douche, but, you know. You had one okay season, and that was it. Then when you got some real competition against you, and you collapsed like the pile of mediocrity that you are. You have to complete that sentence, Warcorpse. You said, then when you got some real competition against you, unless you want to remove and replace it with a comma, which would still be rubbish, but would then make sense, because you said then when and then when, rather than just saying and you collapsed. You should say like then you collapsed or something. No NFL team wants to deal with you anymore. No NFL team, quite frankly, wants to waste the money on a roster spot for you. So that, I mean, to be fair, right? There are worse backup quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm sorry to get too sporty with people. I know my channel isn't really about that. But it's mainly because of the media nonsense that comes along with it, because of his religious / off-field endeavours, really. Anyway. Where are we? Right. So, comma, while you're sitting there and praying to your invisible man in the sky, pardon me, comma, you might want to ask him why that is. Anyway. Why, again, if you're sort of quoting him, you should probably, or you're fake quoting and put it in quotation marks or italics. Why, Lord, did you not bless me with the arm of Joe Montana? And again, that's a question, so put a fucking question mark at the end of it, you twat. In the meantime, comma, accept that your football career is over. Get a fucking gig on the 700 Club. Well, to be fair, he did do that in the end. Not the 700 Club, but he gave up on football and is now being annoyingly successful in the minors for the New York Mets, which is funny because he's going to go and possibly play baseball in one of the least religious cities in the country. Stephanie Meyer, who I believe wrote the glittery vampire novels, something, I don't know. Anyway, Stephanie Meyer, one of the favourite things that I have in life, comma, is I love to see the mighty fall. You are a sad fuck, Warcorpse, you really are. This woman had one of the most arduous fan bases on the planet. The tween girls that read Twilight were ready to hail this woman as the next fucking William Shakespeare. Didn't need to put fucking there. Then she finished the Twilight. Full stop. Then all the little tween girls grew up. Okay, right. Then the final Twilight movie came and went, comma, with it the last flickering light of a one-trick author. I remember she's a better. That's, to be fair, right? She's clearly a far more successful author than you, Warcorpse. So I mean, again, to be fair to her, at least she did have one trick. Unlike some people who, self-publish on Amazon shit books that other sad fuckers on the internet will read aloud to people for their amusement. So, I mean, yeah. He continues. Again, for no fucking reason, he still continues. I remember hearing Stephanie Meyer on an interview at a premiere state, this was the downside of writing. At a premiere. So you need a fucking E at the end of premiere, you twat. Right. Interview at a premiere state, and I think that should be comma, this was the downside of writing. But at least you use quotation marks, Warcorpse. Well done. Well fucking done. Jesus. And I'm thinking, really? This is the fucking downside of writing? Again, put that in italics, I would imagine. A premiere, again, put E on premiere to put premiere, you twat. A premiere of a movie based on your fucking book. Not to mention the dump truck of money they drove up to your house. That's the downside of writing. No, I don't think she was referring to that. I think she was referring to the thing you mentioned in the first fucking paragraph of this chapter. Anyway. Then she went on to blame the premiers, again put a fucking second E, or third E technically, in it, for why... Hang on. She then went on to blame the premiers for why she isn't writing. This is what's keeping you from fucking writing, comma, you idiot. Which is brilliant because you fucked up while trying to say someone else was an idiot. Genius. I mean, how long do movie premieres? You spelt it right this time. So you know how to spell premieres. So why have you fucked it up the first 2 times and then got it right? You dickhead. Right. I mean, how long do movie premieres last? Comma. 3, maybe 4 hours? Question mark. I think you'd be at your hotel back at 1 or 2 in the morning. Hell, comma. They don't start till probably 7 anyway. So, comma, let's say from 7 to 1. Okay, why have you put the numeral 7 and then 1 as a word? That's that's so annoyingly poor. I know it's a small point. People say you shouldn't be like a grammar nut, but that's really, really shit. I'm sorry, that is shit. So, comma, let's say from 7 to 1, she'd be at the premiere. You get in the previous sentence. No, 2 sentences ago, you spelled premiere right, but then you fuck it up and put premiere. Oh, God. That means you would have 6 hours out of the 24 in which you couldn't write. What the fuck you doing for the other 18, Stephanie? Oh, God. What the fuck are you doing for the other 18? Comma, Stephanie, question mark. You could write a short story longhand on hotel stationery. They'll give that shit for free. They'll give you that shit for free, I presume you mean. What about taking a laptop with you? I think personally, you said that because you knew Twilight was it for you. I think personally you said that because you knew Twilight was it for you. That sentence makes no fucking sense. I don't even know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. That's ridiculous. Also, Warcorpse, writing isn't as simple as just having time, is it? Like writing, I know for you, it's literally just having 10 minutes, scribbling some shit, not even rewriting it or rereading it, fucking trying to pick out the huge number of mistakes and then fucking it up onto putting it up onto Amazon. But for actual proper writers, they need to have like a comfortable situation in which to write. Now, for some, that means they can do it whilst they travel. But presumably, in Stephanie Meyer's case, she needs to be in like her space, which is often for writers, their home, like their study. That's where they write. So when you're traveling around doing premieres in like London and Tokyo and Los Angeles and New York and so on and so forth, and I don't know where she lives, but she doesn't live in all of those places, obviously. That's not necessarily going to be comfortable for her. So that's probably what she means by the premieres are stopping her from writing. I assume. Anyway, you idiotically said the Breaking Back Dawn. So you put a Jesus Christ. You've put a lowercase b and then the Breaking Dawn. Okay, whatever. Again, and I would put Breaking Dawn in italics to make sure that you know that that's what that's supposed to be. Would be the end. Then you found out that, hey, this might be it for me. Again, I would put that in italics or quotation marks or whatever. I may not have another series in me. I got proved correct in the interim. Since then, comma, Haven't had any movie premieres. You spelt it right this time. Again, just interchangeable premiere and premieres, aren't they? Or premiere and premiere, whatever. Or book signings. Nothing. You've had, since 2008, all this time to give the world a new book, and what have you produced? A few bits and pieces to expand the Twilight universe. The last desperate act of a failed writer is to expand on what paid the bills at one point. Again, you can't say she's a failed writer. She's had one. I mean, I've not read the books, but they are clearly one of the most successful modern series, aren't they? So she's not a failed writer. She just, like you say, maybe she's one trick author. Maybe she's a one hit wonder, or a one series wonder, which is still several books. In which case, that's not failure, is it? Most writers would dream of that kind of success. Anyway, it's not entirely your fault. You were a teen idol, and the problem is that teens grow up. Did you really think that your sparkly vampire novels were going to be relevant down through the ages? That should be a question mark at the end of that, Warcorpse, because you're asking a fucking question. Your novels were forgotten the second the girls that read them had something other than lip gloss to worry about. When the tale of the two sparkly dicks fighting over the love of mega cunt, for fuck's sake, came to an end, so did your fan base. You couldn't drag them over as they grew up. Sadly, that's the fate of a lot of people that get their start with a tween audience. You wrote books that spoke to a group of people that still think that they're the center of the fucking world. When they finally grew up and realize, again, you've changed tenses there, so when you finally grew up and realized this is not the case, they quit reading that type of ship. I think you mean shit. Genius. Your work just wasn't generational. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you don't fucking know. I don't know, maybe the feminists will still read it because Lord knows they're wrong there, by the way, that should be TAGIR. The only group of girls that never grew the fuck up and still think they're the center of the fucking world. Warcorpse, you are the ultimate man-child. You are the ultimate fucking never developed man-child gorilla jabber creature, right? So you are in no position to say that other people have not grown up. You utter dirtbox. Now you think I'm being mean to old Miss Maya. Stop and I think she's younger than you, isn't she, Warcorpse? I'm not sure anyway. Stop and think about it for a minute. Stop and think about it for a minute. Sure, she'll never produce another novel. She'll probably never produce another novel. She's still sitting in her house that's paid for. She still has a bank account with more numbers in it than probably 99% of the population of the United States. If she's the least bit smart with her money, she could live off the interest alone without ever having to touch the principal. So, I really don't think that the words I write here will matter to Shitster. Yeah, because she'll never read it, you twat, because only an idiot like me would ever read it. Anyway, I'm done for this fucking bit. Next up, we've got Brooke Hogan. That'll be fucking fun, won't it? God damn it. Warcorpse, why do you do this to me, boy? Let's stop. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. I certainly didn't. Anyway, thank you all for listening and watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notifications button. Pip, pip!